Good morning. Today is April 28th, 2024. My name is Jillian Major, and I'm a Sunday school teacher here at First Congregational Church, United Church of Christ in Muskegon, Michigan. Each week I've been sharing a story and an affirmation from the Progressive Christianity curriculum, which First Congregational Church has purchased, but we do not own the copyrights to. Our lesson this week is called Learning Patience, and our affirmation is, I am patient and calm in all I do. Our story is called The Tiger's Whisper. Mi Cha was glad to be going home. She had traveled with her mother to visit her aunt and uncle in a distant village. Her aunt had many children, and Mi Cha was tired of the noise and constant activity of her little cousins. At home, she was the only child, and she could have peace and quiet. Her mother had been very quiet and thoughtful during most of the 3-day journey, but Mi Cha had filled the silence with her own chatter. As they came within sight of the village, her mother stopped and looked at Mi Cha. Your aunt needs our help. I have arranged for your youngest cousin to come live with us when rice harvest begins. I don't know how long he will stay. Her mother's eyes were kind, but her voice was firm. There would be no argument. Mi Cha was horrified. Her youngest cousin was the one she was happiest to leave. He tore through the house like a wild animal. He broke everything he touched. He screamed louder than any child she ever knew. She couldn't remember one happy moment with him, even when she said goodbye. He had pulled her hair and stepped on her toes when she tried to give him a hug. And he was going to live in their house? Once they arrived at home, Mi Cha couldn't even enjoy the quiet thoughts. The thoughts of her cousin filled her mind. Her friends were sympathetic, but they didn't seem to be any escape. Then, in the middle of the night, she had an idea. At dawn, she took her small money bag from her secret place and ran to see the healer who lived in their village. She told the healer the whole story. I want a potion that will make my cousin nice, said Mi Cha, and she poured her bag of money on the table. I know just the potion you need, but it requires a very special ingredient which I do not have. You must obtain a tiger's whisker or I cannot help you, the healer explained. Mi Cha was dismayed. How would she get a tiger's whisker? But this was her only hope. She couldn't give up easily. She stopped by the market to buy meat and inquire about any known tiger dens near the village. The butcher was amazed at her question, but he gave her directions to a cave where a very large tiger was known to live. Mi Cha stopped and sat behind a tree a good distance from the mouth of the cave. She didn't see the tiger, but she sat for a while and then left the meat and went home. The next morning, she went again to the cave, and her heart beat fast to see the huge beast sleeping in the cave opening. This time, she sat quietly in front of the tree and left the meat. Mi Cha continued to visit the tiger every morning. Each morning she came a little closer, and each time she left some meat. After many weeks of this, Mi Cha and the tiger sat together in front of the cave one morning. The huge cat purred quietly, and Mi Cha reached out her hand to touch the orange and black coat. She felt a twitch under the soft fur, but the tiger let her hand remain. Eventually, she could visit and sit by the tiger while he ate the meat she brought. Finally, it was harvest time, and Mi Cha knew she must get the whisker. While the tiger slept with his head against her leg, she carefully pulled scissors from her pocket and snipped a whisker. Then she got to her feet and ran all the way to the healer. I have the whisker, I have the tiger whisker, she cried as she burst through the door. The old man looked carefully at what Mi Cha held in her hand. How were you able to get it? He asked with surprise. Mi Cha told him all about the tiger that lived in the cave. She explained how she had to work a little each day to earn the tiger's trust. As she finished her tale, the old man reached out for the tiger's whisker and threw it into the fire. Mi Cha gasped with horror. After weeks of taming that tiger, you threw my only hope in the flames, she cried. The healer gently took her hand and said, anyone with the patience to tame a tiger doesn't need a magic potion. Go home and be kind and patient with your cousin as you were with the tiger. As Mi Cha walked home, she thought of her little cousin and the tiger. The tiger had much bigger teeth than her cousin. Perhaps she could be patient. Perhaps she could try to be patient and see what happened.